Morning, y'all. We're out in the shop. Now, if you've been watching the videos, you've seen the other day we rolled the Cherokee over, which we've got all that fixed. But a couple of things about that. One is I couldn't get myself out of that situation because I didn't have any of my gear with me. The reason why is also because of that situation. Wish I could tell you that was the first time I rolled a vehicle over, but it wouldn't even be, it'd be a lie to tell you it was the third or fourth. It's happened. And one thing I've learned over the years of having that happen is that you don't want loose stuff in the cab of your vehicle. Whether you're driving on the road or off-road, and you know, that stuff becomes a missile. So I had all this gear right here that could have helped me get myself out of the situation. But none of it was in here because there was no way to secure it. So what we're going to do is we're going to figure out, we're going to weld together something, build something to go in there. One, it'll also secure this speaker box instead of having it strapped down with a ratchet strap. And two, it'll stow all that gear and not have it flying around the cab if you get in a wreck or a rollover. So that's what we're fixing to do. And we're going to do most of this with scrap metal and extra metal I have laying around from older projects. So what I'm doing, I'm going to lay out the base of what this is going to look like, cut the pieces out and lay them out in here. And once I get it the way I want it, then I'll pull these out, put them on the ground in here, weld it, tack it all together, test fit it, weld it again. And then I've got to drill some holes, and then we're going to put some fasteners, holes in, so we'll have those established once we get that base welded together, and then we'll build up on it from there. Basically, it's going to have an area here. Over here, we're going to have a where you can slide ammo boxes in there. You'll see once I get it. It's all up here. I have no, here's all the written plans. So we got to go out here and cut another piece of metal to fit what I want to do. So just okay, so I'll show you what the kind of base plan is here. So this is going to be the bottom of it. This piece will be notched out so it'll lay flat like the rest of this. And basically what you're going to have, this area here will be built up about, I don't know, this high, so that stuff can go underneath of this toolbox right here. That'll sit there about 6 or 8 inches higher, so the top of that toolbox will be about up here. Now it doesn't really matter, it'll be, I'm sorry, you couldn't see that. So this area here will be built up. This will probably, we had to give that a little bit more room there. Okay, and this will come back. Okay, this area will be built up about, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches, and then that toolbox there will sit on top of it. All this will be welded and bolted. I'll put the toolbox lid about this height, which is fine because I can't use the rear window anyways because of the tire rack. And then over here on this side, you'll have this rail here where I'll be able to slide a couple of ammo cans in there and tie them down. So this extension out here is just going to be so that we can bolt it down and into the fenders on each side, and that'll miss the gas tank. And then these pieces here will be drilled and have some screws into the speaker box there, so that that'll be held down. So that's the general idea. So now I'm going to shut this off and get all this metal cleaned up and get it laid out and ready to weld together in some form, so we can get our base plate finished. And when we get ready to weld, I'll bring you back. You can see now we've got all the metal cleaned up. We've got our basic pattern for the bottom part of this rack. So what we're going to do is start pulling these pieces out. We'll start with this section since it's a known dimension and it's square. So we can lay it up on the table, weld it up square, and then once we've got it square, everything else can weld off of it, can be built off of it. So once this section's welded up and square, we can weld it to this bar here. We'll have that square, then we can square this side up and get it in here at the right distance, and everything else will be cake, so to speak, theoretically. So let me get that out of there and clamped up, and then we'll start welding. and it's tomorrow. So we're getting a little bit of a later start welding because let me show you why. So and there we go. So I had to take a few minutes this morning to put my decals that I got on. Got her name on there. Got my business on the back window and the two side windows here. So I'm pretty happy with all that. Got those made at a local place here called Communigraphics. So if you're in North Augusta and you need some decals, they do pretty good. They'll make you pretty much anything you can come up with. They're not a sponsor or anything, but they did good work and they're local. So now, let's see, we've got to get back on this rack. So you'll remember from yesterday, we built this. So right now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and mark and drill all the holes in it, and then put all the holes for mounting it and get that done before I build up on it, because that could be kind of a pain in the behind to do once this thing's all built up. So let's go ahead and do that, and I will get back with you once I got that done. So now we have mounting bolts, 3 on each side, and they are drilled through the body, and then they will have a nice large thick washer on the back side to spread the load, and put a little silicone on the inside of them to seal them up, and that'll hold that thing down and keep anything that's part of it from going anywhere in any situation. So now that we got that out of the way, we can pull those bolts back out and pull that back out, and then start working on building the box that's going to go here and fabbing up a plate for the air compressor to sit on. So let me do that, and then we'll get set up and I'll be back with you. I welded all this, cut and welded all this together because we got weather coming in, and I got to go get my animals fed. We got goats before this rain starts pouring down harder than it already is, and then I got to go pick the youngin up from school, So, but this is where we are at the end of day 2, or at least the quitting time of day 2, because I'm not really working the whole day. But we got the base. Now we have this part all made, the legs welded in. So tomorrow, this is going to be clad. It'll have a top and 3 sides. This one small section here will be open where you can reach back behind the speaker on that on the left side there. But basically from here over, that'll be clad, top, side. Then this, things like that case right there, the tan case, the socket set will slide up in here and be secured. And then that aluminum toolbox will be mounted on top of this for most of the recovery gear to go in. And the 2 ammo boxes will mount here. I've still got to go out in the shed and find the pieces. I've got them somewhere with the straps on them for tie downs. They're actually made for those, but I got to go find them out of the shed. And some kind of plate to mount that air compressor on. So we will see you back here tomorrow. And now we're on day 3. So yesterday we got this made up. I got some pieces here cut. I'm going to weld them in. Then we'll cut a piece of this thicker metal for the top for that toolbox to sit on. Then we're going to use this thin sheet metal to go around the sides. Hopefully we'll get that done. Then we'll lay it back up in there, figure out our plate, and then we'll get that done and paint it. Once we get it painted, then tomorrow we can install it. So let's get started then. Continuing on day 3, I think we've got all the welding done. We've got the brackets and holes drilled for the toolbox. We've got these sides here to keep stuff from falling out of there. This side will be up against the wheel well. We got the plate mounted for our for that air compressor to sit on. This is mainly here to keep everything back off of the speaker in the back of the vehicle. So now I'm going to pick this thing up and carry it outside and start cleaning it, grinding it, cleaning all the welds up, get it ready to paint. All right, we got it all kind of ground out, ready to be painted. See, I welded these on here. That's for the ratchet strap that'll hold those ammo cans down. So let me get this thing rigged up in our paint booth, and then I'll be right back. All right, y'all, as you can see, I've got the rack hung in our high dollar paint booth here in the shop. And our paint prep work consists of the grinding we already did. And then we will wipe everything down with some acetone, just because there's usually all kind of grease and fingerprints and everything on here. So we'll just give everything a quick wipe down, just to give our paint the best chance of sticking. Alright, I think that's had enough time to dry. Now normally I would set this upside down on the workbench and paint the bottom side of it and the inside and all the nooks and crannies that are hard to get to, and then let it dry and then come back another day and paint the rest of it. But tomorrow is my last day off before I go back on night shift, and I kind of want to get this get this done and today so I can put it in the truck tomorrow. So that's why we got it hung up. I'm going to start by painting the bottom of it, which will be a pain in the behind, but such is life. So let me go ahead and show you my fancy spray gun I'll be using. Rust-Oleum flat black, because it dries faster than gloss. It's going to be inside the truck, so I'm not really that worried about it rusting or anything, so let me get to it. That is it for day 3. It's painted up, hanging there. We'll let the paint dry overnight. The old flat black. Yes, it has runs. I never claimed to be a painter. If you ever hear me say I'm a painter, it means I'm drunk. I don't like painting. The only reason I paint stuff is to keep it from rusting. So this thing's going to be a rack full of gear. It'll get scratched up. It'll be okay. So that's the end of day 3. Tomorrow we'll come back, finish assembling everything on this, get it mounted in the back of the XJ, and get everything loaded in it. So we'll see you tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. Good morning, y'all. This is it, the last day. It's time to take this thing off of the hangers here and mount the toolbox onto it and get it mounted in the Cherokee and load it up. So you can see it's got this fancy spray paint job all dried now. So let's get to work. We've got it down back on the sawhorses now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this foam tape in here, everywhere the aluminum toolbox is going to be touching this when it's bolted down, and that'll help prevent us from having a bunch of rattles and such. So let's get that done real quick. We've got it all bolted together. and it's ready to drop into the back of the Cherokee and get bolted down. Okay, now our gear system, homemade, has been installed in the truck. It's bolted down. It's got 6 5/16 bolts on each side, stainless steel nylock nuts with washers and silicone on the underside of the truck, so it's not going anywhere. And this JBL speaker box is now attached to the rails at the bottom, so this entire thing is now part of the truck. It's not going anywhere. So now it's time to make all of that gear fit in here. So let me get that done, and then I'll bring you back and show you one last clip where it's all finished and where everything goes. 1, 2, 3. All done. As you can see, all of our gear is now loaded in the truck. So, 2 ammo cans strapped down. One in the back's got the jack and a couple of tree saver straps. This one's got 3 snatch blocks. Back there is the tool roll and the tire iron. Here we got the air compressor. Hopefully, I got some wing nuts coming tomorrow to replace this nut and the one on the back corner, so it'll just be able to be taken out with just your fingers. So that's all in there. On this side, we've got our oil holder. Got 2 quarts of transmission fluid in there, and I gotta go buy some quarts of oil because the ones that I have don't fit that rack, and everything else I've got is in bulk in gallons and 5 gallons. Down on the bottom, we've got tool cases. In the way back on this side, beside the speaker box, is the air hose and accessories for the air compressor. Got our always good to have fire extinguisher. And then we got this box here. And in there we've got jumper cables, we've got a kinetic rope, a anchor point for receiver hitches, recovery rings, soft shackles, the remote control for the winch, a bunch of straps, tire repair kit, all the stuff that's always good to have with you. And now everything is strapped down or inside of, like these aren't strapped down, but they're inside of this. So once the tailgate is down, you know, none of that stuff can go anywhere. So you could be sitting upside down and all this, including the speaker box, because it's now bolted to that. Everything's going to be solid. So that's what you have to do when none of the solutions that are commercially available fit what the idea you've got in your head about how you want to store stuff in the back of the truck and how much crap you want to always carry with you. I like to be prepared. So hopefully this video might have gave y'all some ideas, helped you in some way. I don't know. If you like it, give us a like, subscribe to the channel. We've always got new stuff coming out, whether it's auto repair, stuff on the 4xs, guns, gunsmithing, everything. So appreciate y'all watching, and y'all have a good one.